the Funny Comics Fan Club.
Hello and welcome to the Funny Comics Fan Club with me, Dr. Mark Hibbett.
And me, not Dr. John Dredge.
He's not a doctor. Do not take medical advice from him.
You made that mistake.
Yeah.
It's amazing you're still here.
It's amazing. So this is a podcast where John and I look at an issue of an old funny comic and talk about it. So what are we looking at this week, John?
We're looking at Nutty comic.
Nutty comic. And you were looking forward to this last week, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm not now.
No.
No, only joking, listeners. Only joking, comic fans and enthusiasts. No, I was really looking forward to this because I remember buying the first one.
Right.
I think it was 1980 it started, so I would have been 10. And a new comic starting up, to me, was a big deal. Whether other people felt like that or not, I don't know. But I don't remember that many comics starting up when I was a kid. I'm wondering whether there was a television advert for it.
Yeah, I think there was for Nutty, yeah.
I'd love to find that. None of these things are on YouTube, though.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think I was looking through some other comics the other day, and lots of comics seem to have started. But I'm not aware. There's loads of them. I sort of think, well, I don't remember that comic even because sometimes it only lasts about 6 weeks, about 6 months or whatever. But yeah, you sort of think, I wonder if they weren't all available in the same regions all the time until they got. But anyway, yeah, this was Nutty was a big one when it came out, wasn't it? That was a big deal.
Yeah, anything silly that was new, I was going to be well interested in, and I thought, well, Nutty, what a great name for a comic. Sounds a bit mad. Sounds a bit bizarre, a bit bonkers. And those are all things that I used to like and still like even more now. Yeah.
And that was the idea. I think the idea of Nutty was when they launched it, it was supposed to be looser and crazier than because it's from DC Thompson, so it's the Dandy and the Bean and the Bees and all that sort of thing. And the idea of Nutty was it would be crazier. It would be a bit wilder than the other ones.
Who published Crazy comic?
Crazy was IPC.
Because that had a different feel to it. That was more what I think of when you say crazier or off the wall or a bit mad. That's what, or anarchic is another word, isn't it? Crazy comic was anarchic. It was genuinely like that.
Yeah.
This, I'm not quite so sure. I mean, to me, it's a little bit on the traditional side still.
I think it's extremely traditional, isn't it? You sort of read through it, and I was looking through it, and so many of the strips in this are basically rip-offs of other strips. There's what's it called? The one about the dogs? What's that called?
Oh, the Wild Rovers.
The Wild Rovers is Pup Parade.
I thought it was something like that. I was going to ask you what Pup Parade was because I thought, even the sort of design looks a bit like what I remember Pup Parade being, but I haven't looked at that strip for years.
No, I haven't. But it's like I remember it was some dogs living in the street. I mean, Pup Parade is obviously the Bash Street Kids. Dogs.
I mean, what a brilliant idea. Yeah. The thing about the Beano was it was full of brilliant ideas.
Yeah.
This, however,
it's pretty terrible, isn't it? I think we can say that.
I mean, we better explain that this particular issue that we were given free of charge, which is why we're looking at it. I mean, we're not made of money. This particular issue is number 187.
Yes.
So it's not like the number one issue where everything's free, fresh and fab and free. This is like number 187. But the thing is, I thought that this was probably, towards the end of the run. It ain't.
It's precisely halfway through, isn't it?
It's halfway through it.
Yeah.
So it's not running out of steam, looking at it from a standpoint of how many issues there were.
But you have to wonder how much steam it had to start with, didn't you?
Well, I think it had quite a lot of steam to start with. As I recall,
that's the amount of steam that it had.
It had quite a large amount. I mean, I do remember really liking the first one, and I kept buying it for quite a while. I did stop buying it around issue number 187. This may have been the reason I stopped buying it.
But I mean, even if let's give it a sniff, as is the rule. I mean, it doesn't even smell good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, I can tell that from here.
You can. It doesn't look good. Doesn't smell good.
Doesn't taste good either.
I haven't gone that far yet, but looking at it, I think somebody might have done.
But I don't know. I mean, the front page is fun to look at. It's Bananaman on the front.
Yeah, and Bananaman's. I mean, to be fair to the whole comic, Bananaman's pretty good, isn't it? I think for me, it was the highlight of the whole thing.
Bananaman from day one was great in my opinion. It was on the back page of the first one, Bananaman, and it looks slightly different. But I remember thinking even then, this is brilliant. This is so good.
And it is quite crazy, isn't it? Because I mean, like on the 1, 2, 3 on the fourth panel, the TV presenter David Vine swings in on a Tarzan rope.
Or on a Vine, maybe.
Even maybe on a Vine.
I am looking in depth at this.
You are. That's very good. I like
no one
it.
else has ever done it.
I see what's happened. That's very good. Yeah.
Just thought of that, and I've been looking at it for a week.
I've been looking at it since 1983, and I haven't noticed.
But I mean, when Nutty started, Bananaman was on the back. It was in full colour, but it was by no means he wasn't the big star of the thing. They weren't planning on him being the great big star. He was on the back, And in fact, on the front cover of the first one was somebody called Wacky the Crackpot Inventor.
Wacky the Crackpot Inventor.
It might have been Cracky the Whackpot Inventor. That's not in this comic. That's not in this issue. No. It's gone.
Well, that tends to be the way, doesn't it? I mean, after 3 years, I think normally when a comic starts, it will have a bit of churn of strips as it goes through, but this should be pretty stable. But Bananaman was a big star. I mean, Bananaman, he's still in the Beano today, so this is like one of the great. This is, I think it'd be fair to say, he's one of the great British comics characters, and certainly lasted. And there was going to be a film of Bananaman in It was coming soon in 2016, but.
Would that have been that would have been a cartoon, probably? Would it? Do you think?
I would imagine so. But there was a live action musical.
Did you see that?
I didn't see that. Did you?
I didn't see it, but I hear it was quite good.
Yeah.
It didn't last very long, but.
Well, I was reading about it, and it was at Southwark Playhouse 2017 to 2018, and then it was going to have a West End run, for which we are still waiting, I fear.
Maybe they're still working on minor details.
But, I mean, it's good, and this is actually, weirdly, this issue of Nutty is 1 month before the Bananaman TV show, which is how everybody knows Bananaman.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah, because obviously I knew it from the comic. I would have been interested to know how many people read it. God, I don't know that sort of thing. Lou Stringer would know, but he knows who they were as well. I can't think of many, if any, other characters that came from a comic that ended up on television at that point.
From a British comic.
From a British comic.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously lots of American.
From a sort of humour comic in Britain.
I mean, Dennis the Menace wasn't even then, wasn't he? That
wasn't on TV for a while.
Because apparently the idea originally was to do a Desperate Dan cartoon, but then they had to look through what the people who making the cartoons look at the properties that DC Thompson had. I mean, Bananaman will do it, and that's just what happened.
I suppose Bananaman is reasonably straightforward. It's like everybody knows what it is. It's a kid that turns into a superhero when he eats a banana.
Yeah,
so everyone's on board with it once you know that. So the cartoon, when it started, I was quite excited about it because I didn't know many cartoons that had come from funny comic strips in the UK on British television. I don't think there were any.
I'm struggling to think of it.
If you know, listeners, let us know if there were any. But I think Bananaman might have been the first one, possibly.
It could be.
And I mean, I was watching it again today. Watching it as an adult, it's all right.
Mm.
No, it's not. It's nowhere near as good as Danger Mouse.
No, I mean, Danger Mouse was great, wasn't it? That was an actual funny thing.
Which might have been on TV around the same time, possibly.
Maybe that's why they did Bananaman as a cartoon.
Yeah.
And it was the goodies who were doing the voices for it, wasn't it? And you have quite a high tolerance for the goodies.
I've watched every single episode.
Yeah.
And the psychiatrist is still talking to me. Yeah, I used to really like the goodies because they were silly, they were stupid, and that's what Nutty, says. You think that's what it's going to be, silly. I suppose it is silly. Bananaman's silly.
Bananaman's great, but I think it's like you were saying earlier. It feels it's very old-fashioned.
Yeah. For a new comic.
Yeah.
That started in 1980. It's pretty old school.
Yeah. And
a lot of it does look a bit like the Beano to me now.
Yeah. I mean, let's have a look at another one. Let's have a look at Sports Fan.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, this is deep within the bowels of the issue.
Yeah.
On page 580. So the idea of this one is that it's a little kid called Sports Fan. She is a sports fan, hence the name Sports Fan. So we know what's going on there. In this story, she looks a bit like Minnie the Minx or Beryl the Peril or one of those sort of things.
She's got a black and red sweater on, hasn't she? But her hair... Well, the thing I wanted to say was her name is apparently Fan.
Fan.
And what's Fan short for?
Fanny, I suppose, is it?
What's Fanny short for, though?
Fanelia.
Fanelia.
No, I don't know. I don't think it's short for anything, is it?
It doesn't make sense. I've never heard of anybody be called Fan for short.
Fan. Maybe not. So, straight away, it's not brilliant.
straight away, it's not
already the concept is somewhat lacking.
Yeah.
But then you actually look at the story and the whole thing is lacking.
Yeah,
Because
it's lacking a story is what it's lacking.
It's just like this kid's playing tennis, the elastic in her skirt breaks, so she uses a hair ribbon. Then she can't see where she's going because the hair falls over her eyes. And then the other person playing her wins the set. During the break, she washes her hair so she can see where she's going and wins the match. And the umpire says, shampoo, set and match to fan, ho ho. So nothing of any interest has really happened.
Let's just get shampoo, set and match. That was what the whole thing was leading up to, wasn't it?
A whole page there devoted to that particular punchline. If we can call it that, I don't think we can.
I think it would barely count as a pun, wouldn't it? And it's like...
It's the whole thing just lacks inspiration, I think we could say.
It's bad, isn't it? She does her hair. And it's like, how is this supposed to make anybody laugh?
How's anyone going to remember this character after this?
Because I would say she's a rip-off of Ball Boy, except with tennis, except there's a rip-off of Ball Boy in this comic, isn't there? There's something called the Cannonball Kid, and even like that strip Cannonball Kid was reprinted in the Dandy years later, and then they called it Owen Goal, which at least is a joke.
Okay,
that's
a joke.
That is a joke, not like sports. What?
They must have been a bit desperate to reprint the Cannonball Kid.
Yeah, you think like, have you absolutely run out of all of the strips?
I mean, nobody in the history of the world can remember Sports Fan.
No.
Can they? Nobody, even on the internet, hardly anybody knows what it is.
Well, you can't look this one up, can you? I mean, on the opposite page from Sports Fan, there's a strip called Lucky Ducky, which is also terrible, but does at least have a crocodile in it. Not the first crocodile in this comic.
The art is quite good. I like the artwork. It looks silly. That's the sort of thing I like to look at, maybe if I think it's going to be a silly comic. But the material is on the lame side.
On the lame side of the lame, not lame side. It's definitely that one. Yeah. But again, I think we had this with the last time's comic. It looks good. I mean, it all looks great, doesn't it?
Jackpot we looked at last time.
Jackpot we did last time.
It looks really, really good. I mean, looking back on those days of reviewing Jackpot last week, I like it even more now I've read this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if that's just in comparison. But Jackpot was quite inspired in terms of the competitions it had. This has... The competition is like you can win a Bananaman t-shirt. Okay, right. Anything else? No. No is the answer.
No is the answer.
Absolutely nothing. To me, I remember liking Nutty when it started, as I said. But to me, this looks like it's on its last legs here.
Yeah.
And it's only halfway through the run.
Exactly. But I think this is maybe a difference between the DC Thompson comics and the IPC. I mean, we've only looked at one of each, but they always had a very different... the DC Thompson ones always felt very old-fashioned and quite boring. And I don't remember the DC Thompson ones being as much fun as Jackpot was, but maybe that's because I was reading them as a grim-faced proto-teenager.
I remember really I loved getting a silly comic every Saturday. It says on the front, every Saturday. This is 16p, so it's going up a bit in 1983.
That's why we had to wait to get one given us for free.
Yeah. That was my routine every Saturday. I used to look forward to getting the comic, sitting on the stairs and just like reading it. No one was allowed to, disturb me when I was reading it. I was disturbed enough as I was. Hey. But I would read it and, I never laughed. Never laughed at it. I mean, I loved it. I really loved it. I loved the world of it. And the sort of escapism of it and the silliness of it and just all the mad things going on. I really loved it. But as for actually laughing out loud, that just didn't happen to me.
I don't think it ever happened. I mean, I remember that was a really big deal when Viz comic came out. And I remember reading one of the early Viz comics and actually laughing. And it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. But I mean, I really loved it. I'm not putting it down or anything, but it's just like, it was an intense thing. But it was quite passive.
Yes,
a passive experience.
So.
But I really loved it. I would just sit there all day reading comics. I mean, when my mum threw my blooming comics away, that was like, I'm still getting over that. And I've read about this happening to other people.
There must have been a government directive gone out. It was Thatcher. It would have been Thatcher.
Yeah.
And she'd have said,
right, kids. But they meant a lot to me,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're amazing, and it's amazing. I think we were saying when I got so listeners, a bloke called Dave Huxley gave away a load of comics a couple of weeks ago at a thing that I was at, and I remember I got a big pile. When I took that big pile home, it was like, these are mine. These are my comics. I'm going to love these guys. And it was so exciting to have a big pile of comics. So, shall we have a look at another one then?
Yeah.
What about snobs and slobs? Let's have a look at that.
Let's go past J.R. Hood. He's anything but good.
And he's got a crocodile. That's another crocodile.
It is a crocodile.
That's
there.
the best thing we can say about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Now we're on the snobs and the slobs.
Snobs and the slobs. So this is something that's in almost every comic from this era. There's one group of people who are posh and one group of people who are not posh.
Last week in Jackpot, it was Class Wars, which was exactly that. And
in next week's comic, spoilers, it's the same again. I mean, everybody always does it. And here it's the slobs. There's a cloth cap wearing gentleman called Mr. Slob, and he lives next door to a pair of people. I don't think they were always ballroom dancing, the snobs.
I don't think they were.
But they look
That's what I can glean from this.
They look like ballroom dancers anyway.
They look like the type.
So they're going off to do some ballroom. What happens is the snobs are going to go do some ballroom dancing. This offends Mr. Slob, who decides that him and Mrs. Slob are going to go and do some ballroom dancing. And this was actually quite jolly. I mean, I picked this one because I thought it's quite good. There's some bits that are quite good fun, like he says he's got sequins in his socks.
That's a good line.
That's not. I'm not missing anything. It's not like he's got those on verrucas or something, are they?
It's just stupid. That's all it is. And some of the dialogue is quite stupid, isn't it? Quite Python-esque almost. Like Frida's hobbies include ferreting, spot welding, and cross-country bingo.
Yeah.
I mean, it's silly stuff which we like.
And the punchline is they win a cup, a big cup, and they use it to put their pet haddock in. And you're like, oh, well done, the slobs.
Yeah, we like that. We like that idea.
The snobs and the slobs. Yeah, you've had, there's actually, it feels like with this one, you're like, it's drawn by John Gearing, who drew Bananaman as well, so it looks fabulous. It looks really nice.
I like it.
Bounces along. It's a really, there's somebody with a peg on their nose there because Mr. Slob's socks smell so bad. That's fantastic.
And the noses of the snobs are actually stuck up.
Yes, they are, aren't they?
Yeah, I just noticed that.
So this, I mean, and I think with this one, you're like, yeah, this is like these sort of funny comics. There's not a lot of effort gone into this. They've basically gone to the shelf of ideas, which was clearly bare.
Yeah.
And then they've gone to the shelf of old ideas.
Gone to the one next door.
Yeah. And they've gone, oh yeah, posh people and not people. That's how they find each other.
So yeah, I mean, kids know what that means, and yeah, hopefully they can follow the story fairly easily. So a good time is almost guaranteed.
Yeah, I like that one.
And there's something that smells at the end, and so kids always love that.
Yeah.
People swooning because of the socks that haven't been washed for a while, we can see.
Well done, the snobs and the slobs. We
yes,
like that one.
Congratulations.
But then the other one that I picked was a story called Nip and Rrip.
And let's have a look at that.
Let's
have a look at Nip and Rrip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rrip, double R.I.P.
Double R.I.P. Yeah.
Does that mean he's dead? No. So
that would have been a better story. A boy and his. So this is about a boy and his cat. If it was a boy and his dead cat,
you'd have enjoyed that more.
Maybe that would have been for Misty.
Tim Burton would have picked up on that.
Tim Burton would have run wild with this one. But this is like.
I like the look of it. Again, I like the look of it.
It looks great. I mean,
it looks fun.
Like Sports Fan, it's drawn by George Martin. Not that one. That one. A different George Martin.
Completely different one.
Completely different. I haven't researched it in depth. Maybe this was when the Mahavishnu Orchestra, for which he's most famous fan, when that went off the boil. Maybe I'll invest in some drawing skills.
Yeah, maybe I'll go into drawing
with my good friend Prince Charles.
Yeah,
clearly.
Yeah.
So it looks
the working class George Martin.
So it looks great. It looks really.
It looks good. You're looking forward to it. You're thinking, great. Red, black and white.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of energy here, and it's set in a scout team or something like that.
This I don't know. Going by the top lot, I don't think it's always set up in a scout thing, but this one is. So he goes off to scouts. This boy called Nip, and he's taking his cat with him, and his cat's called Rrip, and his cat is enormous. His cat is the size of a child. Yeah. And it walks on two legs, and it's wearing a...
See, what I would have done was I would have had a friend who eats a lot, and then it could have been called Nip and Tuck.
Oh,
What do you reckon?
DC Thompson. This is pure gold.
Maybe not. But is Rrip better? I suppose it is. You've got a large giant cat. Just saying that again for the benefit of the tape. And it has a bit of an adventure with the scout camp.
Yes, and basically the cat swaps out. Well, no, the cat has brought some cat food sandwiches with him. Which Nip, that's quite funny. But I think for me, what really bugged me about this, what really annoyed me about this one, is the cat. Now this may sound strange. It's not realistic.
That does sound a little bit on the strange side.
Yes. Because, I'm fine with a cat being the size of a child. That's fine.
You're right about that one.
I'm absolutely fine with a cat walking around dressed as a Cub Scout. Not a problem.
Yeah, in your world, that's fine.
I'm even fine with the cat speaking telepathically to the boy. What I'm not happy with is the fact that the cat refers to the boy as master throughout. Yes, master, it says. Okay, and it's like going, no, dogs say master. Now, I'm aware that dogs also do not speak. But
you refer to an owner being the master of the dog.
Yes.
Not the master of the cat.
No, you're the owner of the cat at best.
But you can't say, owner. You can't keep referring. No. But you could just say, thank you, Nip, or whatever.
Yeah.
Well done, Nip.
If a cat would speak, the cat would speak, well done, scum, wouldn't it? Or something like that. Or you idiot.
Yeah.
Or no.
Yeah.
And the cat, cats are not going to join the Cub Scouts. When's that ever happened? That's never happened.
They're not. But are you're happy with that though, aren't you? You're happy with the cat joining it, which is what happens in this story.
I was happy with it, but now I've added it to the... I'm livid.
Yeah?
Absolutely furious. What's Lord Baden-Powell will be turning in his grave.
Well, so suddenly you don't like the idea of the cat being in the scout camp?
I've gone off it again now.
Well, that's your right, as a tax-paying member of the public. I would say, I don't mind the fact that the cat's in the scout troop because he's dressed up as a scout and he's trying to get away with it, and he has succeeded here.
He has.
So, in my view, well done to the cat.
Almost too well.
He's done it almost too well. The story, isn't exactly brilliant. What happens to him? Things get muddled up, and in the end, the cat thinks that they've found their way back to the scout camp, but in fact, it's a guides camp.
And the guides come out running after them, going, "Get out of our guides camp."
It's not hilarious.
Although that did happen to my friend Steve once. Welcome to Transport Command at Action Man HQ. Here are a few of the vehicles specially designed for Action Man, the only kind he ever drives. To make sure you're getting the real thing, look for the picture of Action Man on every Transport Command box in your shops. Now, number 1, Scorpion Tank. Number 2, Capture Copter. Number 6, Multi-Terrain Vehicle.
What was that one, Mark?
Number 6, Multi-Terrain Vehicle.
That's the one I like.
That's a good one. Number 7, Seawolf. And number 8, Pursuit Craft.
Action Man Transport Command from Palitoy. We didn't really talk about the actual Bananaman story.
No, we didn't. No.
Just the thing about this Bananaman story, even though Bananaman is great, and I was looking at other issues and they're all great, this particular one, to me, doesn't work at all story-wise.
No, it doesn't, does it?
What it's about, it's like David Vine, the sports commentator, comes in and says, Bananaman, how would you like to compete in the TV Duperstars competition, which is a parody of the Superstars competition? But David Vine gets in this so-called superhero called Superweed, who I've never heard of, and all he is just a very weak person. And David Vine gets him in and he says, what a contest it will be. The world's fittest hero versus the universe's unfittest weed. Why would that be a good contest? What's the reasoning? And then it seems David Vine seems to be helping Superweed and trying to make Bananaman lose. Why is he doing this? And at the end of it, Superweed has won all the events just by David Vine helping him cheat. Bananaman loses. And then Bananaman punches Superweed out of the stadium. But what is the motivation here?
What is the motivation?
For David Vine helping Superweed to win?
See, I'm feeling a lot better about being furious about the illogicality of Nip and Rrip now.
Oh, okay.
For
I'm glad I was able to help.
There is steam coming out of John's ears. He's absolutely fine.
There it goes.
So I think... Oh, and can I just pause to note another bunch of... do you think DC Thompson had a job lot of pictures of crocodiles? Because this is the third strip we've looked at that's got crocodiles in it.
I mean, I love the look of it. It's done by the same artist that did it for years.
Yeah.
It looks great. But looking at the content, how do you explain this story?
I think the key thing is over there in the very bottom right-hand corner, where it says basically continued next week.
Oh, so it's explained next week.
I assume next week, and spoilers for anybody who's not read Nutty issue number 188 yet, I think next week it will turn out that David Vine is actually one of Bananaman's baddies wearing a mask, and Superweed is actually super not a weed at all. And the whole thing is a plan. I think so here's my guess. What will happen next time is Bananaman will be really depressed, slump around, not solve crime, and that will open the doors for them to commit loads of crime.
And Superweed is some sort of assistant to David Vine, who is really a supervillain.
Or vice versa. If you can imagine that.
I mean, that's a really good... That's probably what happened. I can see that now. But that doesn't help when you're reading the first part.
No.
Because like normally with comics, they're like, as far as I know, these sort of comics, you don't really have to have read the one after or the one before it to get it, do you?
No, but I mean, I think what's going on is we're used to reading British funny comics and it being here's the one and done story. It just happens and that's it. If you read American superhero comics, that's not what happens. You never find out what's going on. You always have to buy the next issue to have everything. I think this. I mean, technically, this is a superhero story.
I guess it is.
So I guess they're using that here. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. Because we're not used. I was completely befuddled by it.
But the thing is, like, I've looked at some of the other Bananaman ones, and the ones I've looked at, they just end.
Yeah.
Beginning, middle, and end.
Well, maybe that's what. Maybe this was them having a go
at doing another one,
and then loads of people wrote letters
and said, "Don't do this."
Said, "Don't do this."
Because it doesn't even say if you're looking at Birdman and Chicken. At the end of that, it goes, what will happen to our Cape Crusaders? Will so-and-so... it's really obviously going to be next week. What happens next, find out next week. This one isn't find out next week, it's just more of Superweed next week readers. So it's just like, I don't actually want any more of him at this point.
But dear Nutty, I do not wish any more of any of Nutty next week.
I'll put that right into the letters page with that. But I think what you've said there strikes a chord with me, and that's probably right.
I think that's what's going on. Yeah,
we need to look at the next issue, don't we?
do.
Somehow.
Probably costs like £800,000 on Amazon.
But you know what I mean? It doesn't work. For me, it doesn't work as taking it as this is.
No.
And to me, it wasn't obvious that it was going to be continued because it doesn't say to be continued.
No.
In a nice, clear way.
It doesn't.
I'm wondering whether the writer. The original writer had a day off or something this week.
Yeah,
because a lot of the other ones that I've read, they're not like this. They're not really like this. They are a lot funnier. Even though this looks funny, the actual content isn't that funny. I don't think. Anyway, I just wanted to bring that up.
Bring that for the record, yeah. And the reason you're reminded of that is because we had to go past Bananaman to get to the letter page, and when we get to the letter, so it's on the next.
Oh, is it on the next page?
It's in the way. So when you get to the next page, it's called Bananaman's Pillar Box. So it's Bananaman hosted, and it's similar to Dennis and the Menace having letters page, isn't it?
So he's really taken over by this point.
True. Yes.
He
is 4 pages of Bananaman.
The big star of it, and to me, it's almost like they've sort of almost. Not bothering with the rest of it. It's almost like, don't bother with the rest of it. The Bananaman will do. We know he's good. They buy it for him. Fine.
What's that? A girl has to wash her hair. Fine.
Put it in. Yeah.
Big
Put some crocodiles in.
Yeah, more crocodiles.
Yeah. But looking at it, Nutty, I think, never had an annual. Bananaman had an annual.
Oh, really?
As far as I remember. And of course, he's going to be on TV in a month, so that was why all that happened. So he really is the standout, and they're obviously gearing up then for this TV thing. Maybe that's what it is. So then on the letters page, Bananaman's Pillar Box, it's only 1 page. Did the Beano have 1 page for the letters, or was it more?
But it was combined with the Dennis and Menace and National Fan Club, wasn't it?
Yeah. So there's no fan club yet. I don't know if there was one later, but there's no fan club yet. And it says, if you'd like a fan Bananatastic t-shirt like my friends here, send me a joke, drawing, poem or letter that'll make me laugh. If I print it, you'll soon be wearing one of these nice Bananaman t-shirt. And then, like the jackpot one last week, there was 2 pages of letters and things people had sent in. This looks like hardly anybody's written to them.
It does actually, doesn't it? Because how many actual...
Not many.
There's a letter, isn't there? Dear Bananaman.
Yeah. Dear Bananaman or Eric Wimp, this is a threatening letter. I demand that you send me a T-shirt or else I shall reveal your true identity to the world. Yours bribingly, Anthony Duncan St Helens. P.S. Oh no, I've revealed my identity. I'm so sorry, Bananaman. How else can I get a T-shirt? And Bananaman replies, by getting your letter printed, Anthony. Well done.
That was like Bananaman was in the room then. That was amazing.
Yeah, that was my Graham Garden.
But that's it. That's the only letter.
Well, you've got like a tiny little letter here from somebody who just says, Dear Bananaman. Then he recites the alphabet and says, well, you're always asking for letters.
That's a good joke. I like that joke.
My favourite joke on here is definitely, I know this joke already, but it was sort of quite sweet. From Christopher Richards of Worthing. Hi, Chris, if you're listening in. It says, so you've got a little kid in his parents' bedroom holding a glass and he's saying, I know it's my 10th cup of water, but my room's on fire. I thought that was a decent joke.
It's a decent joke. But
then there's a less decent one, set in a restaurant from Maeve Kingston, County Cork. Doesn't give the full address, unfortunately, but it says, the waiter says, I have boiled liver, smoked tongue and pig's feet, sir. The diner replies, don't tell me your troubles. I want a peanut butter sandwich and a glass of milk. So that's not really a punchline as such. I mean,
no,
it doesn't work as a joke.
No.
But they've still printed it.
Yes.
Maybe not many people were writing it.
Well,
you know, it's fun. It's fun to look at and everything. We're being a bit down on the thing. I mean, it was a sweet page. We like it really.
I disagree. How is Maeve to learn if we do not reprimand her?
Oh yeah, this stage in her life.
30 years later,
she's probably really unfunny.
Try again, Maeve.
Try again another day. But yeah, it looks sort of okay, doesn't it? But it's not a fan club like Dennis the Menace, and you know they're not. Well, you get a T-shirt, that's cool, but that's it. Maybe that's why not many people have written in.
Maybe at this point I should say, because here it says, don't forget to include your name, address and T-shirt size in block capitals with your letter. So I would say to people, if anybody wants to write us a letter at this point, please don't forget to include your name, address and T-shirt size in block capitals.
Yeah.
There's no T-shirts, we just like to know, just nosy like that.
Yeah.
And send us an email to dredgehibbit@gmail.com. Here's a jingle to tell you how to spell it.
DREDGEHIBBETT@gmail.com.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. So have we done everything?
No, I think
we haven't.
We haven't.
Got to do the next one.
So yes, I was going to segue neatly from there.
Segue says the Lincoln Kid.
That's me, baby. If you turn the page, we've just looked at some cartoons that readers have sent in. That's me the turning of the page. Let's compare and contrast them to our final thing we're going to have a proper look at, which is called Not On Your Telly.
Good start.
It's a pun. It's good. We like it.
We know what it is.
We like it.
It says underneath, you know what it is. The funny things you won't see on the screen. Is that right?
That's right. That could be a description of Nutty. The funny things you won't see in Nutty. That's how that
is that what it said? The funny things you won't see on your screens. I'm sorry, on your screens. Get it right.
So this is a page of cartoons.
One picture card. Yeah, one panel cartoons.
One panel cartoons, roughly about telly-ish. The boxes are telly-shaped.
I don't know if they're all about. I think they're meant to be like TV programs or something.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
things that might be TV shows. Jokes from them or something.
This reminded me of, did you ever get, or let me be clear, did your nan or other member of your family ever get the weekly newspaper?
No, I don't remember that one.
So my nan used to get the weekly news.
I thought you might have done.
Yeah, and that is where I was going with that, yeah. Oh, actually, now I've said that out loud. My nan used to get.
Mine got the Daily Mirror.
Oh, there you go.
Just to let you know.
Did your nan ever live in a terraced house in Peterborough? But the Weekly News was also a DC Thompson publication.
What was that all about then?
Well, it was a tabloid newspaper that came out once a week, which had daft stories in it about celebrities. I mean, it's basically a forerunner of actual newspapers nowadays. So it's just daft stories, things that weren't really true, and lots of cartoons.
Oh.
So I used to love reading the week. Basically, we'd swap. My nan would be my Beano, and I'd read her weekly news because it just had every page had at least one little cartoon on it.
Well, I mean, that's why I liked the Daily Mirror back then as a kid, because it was just like loads of great strip cartoons in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Perishers and Andy Cap or whatever it was.
And this was like this. So it looked. I wouldn't be surprised if, in a cost-cutting measure, DC Thompson just taken some old cartoons from some of their other publications and stuck them in here.
Huh.
And I thought the best joke on it is there's one where there's a little boy standing in front of a television, and on the television screen is an unshaven man who's fast asleep, and the little boy is saying, "Mum, Dad left the telly on last night. Here's the man who read last night's news."
That's quite good.
I thought that's quite a good joke.
There are some quite good ones on here.
Except, I looked up Not On Your Telly, and every single picture of this page that comes up from different issues has that joke on it in a different way. Sometimes Mum has left the telly on overnight. Sometimes a child has left the telly on overnight. It's like they just keep doing that joke again and again. It's like, it's a good joke.
So is it meant to be funny that it's repeated, or do you think they're just putting it in because no one can remember it from last week?
I think they've exhausted themselves by inserting crocodiles.
Yeah.
And they can't be bothered to do anything else. I think, but it was just weird.
So it's almost like that every week.
Nearly everyone I've seen.
Everyone you've seen is like that.
Yeah, but there's when you get the images on the internet and say here's a page of that. They've nearly all got a version of this joke on it.
I mean, does it look like the same artist doing all of them?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah. What I quite like about this is that it's got my favourite comic strip word in it, ooh-yah. Somebody on one of the panels is saying ooh-yah. You never say that in real life. If someone hits you on the head, you don't say ooh-yah. But you say it all the time in comics, so it's nice to see that. And yeah, the jokes are very varying in quality, aren't they, really? I mean, I quite like the one at the end where there's a ringmaster in a circus talking to some chap, and he said, there's a sign up saying "Human Cannonball Wanted," and the ringmaster is saying to this chap, "Mind you, the job's only temporary. The other chap might eventually come down." I thought that was a pretty good joke, but not exceptional.
Not exceptional.
Like the rest of the comic, not exceptional.
I thought the joke was going to be the job's only temporary because you will die.
That would have been more interesting.
That
would have been an interesting one. It's okay. It's nowhere near as good as A Crazy Look at TV. Do you remember that in Crazy Comic?
Oh yes, I do. Yeah.
There was one page parodying, obviously parodying a TV show at the time, and it was really, really good. There's only a couple of panels, and this pales in comparison as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Again, traditional, quite old-fashioned. Yeah, it doesn't seem that innovative in any way, really.
Well,
just a nice traditional page.
Well, I think we can say about the whole thing. I mean, I think we can draw this all together and say the whole thing is like
traditional.
Yeah, and it felt old-fashioned. I mean, it feels old-fashioned to me now.
Snoozer, there's a character here. That's a bit like Lazy Bones from another comic.
Of course, it's like Lazy Bones.
And then, as you say, you've got the Wild Rovers here that looks like Pup Parade. I don't know. You've got
School Bells are the Bash Street Kids, or the Centrinians. Yeah.
Cannonball Kid is Ball Boy.
Tweet William is Smithy from the Bash Street Kids.
I mean, Tweet William, I quite like that. Just a bit of an idiot. That's the character, a bit of an idiot. I always quite like those. But yeah, it does look a little bit like it's lacking in originality.
Yeah, very much so.
But I still enjoyed reading it. And then you've got this awful Cuddles toddler thing on the back, which I didn't like at all.
I hated Cuddles, but Cuddles went on to being, when Nutty merged with Dandy, Bananaman and a few others went over into the Dandy, Cuddles got his own comic.
He got his own comic?
Called Hoot Comic. And not very long lasting because Cuddles is awful.
Yeah.
And it was not a very good comic by the looks of it, but Cuddles was like the front page star of this one. Wow. That didn't last very long. Then that merged with the Dandy, at which point I'm sure all the other former Dandy stars basically cocked a snook at Cuddles, said, "No, you thought you were too good to come over with us. We will speak to you." But Cuddles joined a character called Dimples, who was, you won't believe this, John, but it was almost exactly the same idea. So the character that Cuddles was basically ripped off of, they joined forces, and the strip was called Cuddles and Dimples in the Dandy.
Gosh, that is, I had literally no idea about that.
I bet you wish you still did, don't you?
But I mean, yeah, I'm still fond of Nutty. I think we just got a duff issue here. They can't all be brilliant. You know.
Well, maybe one day.
Maybe in the future we'll look at an earlier issue. That would be fun.
That would be fun. Oh, it would be more fun than this one, which was not good, was it?
It was okay, but there was nothing that stood out really.
No, I was expecting it to be more fun because I think looking at it as well, because that Nutty, the way it's set out, this issue looks exactly like a Beano or a Dandy.
It does.
It's got the logo and then a bit of strip of, and maybe looking at one that is like that. But I was quite surprised by how much I was repelled.
I did enjoy it. I just, it could have been better, shall we say? It could have been better. I still love Bananaman, but I just think we just got a duff story here.
Maybe we'll try.
We'll try another one in the future.
What do you think then? So we're going to do 1, 2 that we liked, and then one that we really didn't like. So what? I think it's pretty clear.
Well, I mean, Bananaman. You can't really. Everybody likes Bananaman.
Yes.
I'm surprised that it's not even better known in the media. But it's we love that one.
Can you pick another story that you actually liked?
That I liked. What did I? I mean, there's several that I enjoyed. Whether I liked them or not, I'm not sure. Just going through quickly. No. So no, I did. I liked Tweet William. I thought he was a really good little character. He's just a bit of an idiot. He talks to the reader all the time and does silly things and just squirts himself with his own joke flower. It's always nice to see a joke flower in someone's buttonhole. So I did enjoy that character.
It's quite. I mean, I think he really confused me with Tweet William because I was thinking like, why is he called Tweet William? I don't get it.
He's on Twitter, that's why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Surely he should be called Repost William or X William. Or something. That would be the.
Yeah, this is 83 after all.
This is 83. Yeah, I need to be
Tweet William. I think because he's away with the birds or something like that. It says Twitter, Twitter, and he's standing there.
He's all right.
He's just an idiot. He's like Eccles from the Goon Show to me. Just an idiot. Or goofy, something like that. Just that sort of person. So, and the one I don't like.
Yeah.
Well, there's so many to choose from.
We are blessed in that way. There was so much not to like about this.
I don't know. I thought Sports Fan I hated. Because it's just so bland.
Yeah.
It's so bland I can't even find it. It's just like, there's nothing of interest about it. It's ripped off from different things. It's just, you could have quite easily done without it, shall we say.
Let's do sports. So it's Bananaman and Tweet William 1 and 2, and we don't like Sports Fan. Then we'll send up with a postal order to DC Thompson.
Put that on the voucher and see what they make of it. Yeah.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. I mean, it was good fun looking through in such detail and depth. I enjoyed doing that.
That's good. Yes. Well, I'm going to present you now with next week. I don't know if it will be next week's. Next time's comic. And now, I have read this one in advance. I think you'll enjoy this one a lot more. So next time we're going to be looking at an issue of Whoopee magazine from 1978.
Oh, brilliant. This looks so cool.
John is now looking at the copy. There's a look of delight upon his face.
Well, I mean, there's something to cut out for a start. Got nothing like that in Nutty. I'm sorry, there was nothing to cut out. Absolutely nothing to do in it. No puzzles.
So that's for next time. And that's us. So, as I say, if you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us an email at dredgehibbit@gmail.com. And if you enjoy the podcast, please do like and subscribe it. And don't forget, please let your newsagent know and subscribe a copy now.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's the end.